morning, arvo, evening, g'day, welcome on back. And how we going? Here we are on the SMP. This week's project, the area behind these two buildings, as we said in the last video. Let's have a look at the picture that I was working off. It's this lovely bank and the building beneath it. So the two on the right. But I didn't want to have that yellow building in that position. I wanted to move it across to where the bluey grey building is, so the two yellowy buildings weren't beside each other. Then there was a lot of overthinking, and things happened, and you will see it was a little bit of a process. But with looking at that, the yellow building, as you can see, these ones here needed a lot of glass. Whoa. I went into free camp when I wanted that one. So we had to cook some glass. Went over to the furnace, started cooking. Unfortunately, it just wasn't doing the job. So it's just the bamboo doesn't make enough, you know what I mean, blocks, planks to keep up cooking when you get the thing running really, really fast. So the next best thing, good old kelp, going back to what I was founded on, my kelp block, which I also like to use as tiles in bathrooms. So we will be using the block a lot when we get into the residential houses. But yeah, at the moment, still working on the commercial buildings from SimCity, Super NES, the game that I taught me how to game. But making the furnace and array again, you will see what we ended up coming up with. But also, one night I was building away, forgetting about the time, and of course not sleeping. I ended up with these things, and they screamed at me, and one flew through here. And now we have a buddy in a boat, a wing boat, a bird boat, a boat with a scary thing in it. I don't know. It's a thing now. It's right there. But I'll let you have a look at the things that we ended up coming up with over the last week. And thank you very much. Well, I've ran away from the project, and I will show you that in just a moment. But this place, I've stumbled down Zeko's stairwell that comes all the way up from the top there. Let me just jump into a little bit of free cam. As you can see, it comes all the way down into there. This was the cave base that I kind of knew, and then this has all been. It's just wow. Their building has become a lot more impactful over the years. But yeah, this place looks absolutely awesome. But I'll tag Zeko in the information below. But yeah, this place is crazy. But let's jump to where the project is. The furnace. It's been a struggle. It has been an issue. Did I leave this running? Oh no, cobble. Did I cobble it? Looks like no cobble. Lucky. Cobble's just an issue. Doesn't get turned into moss. But working on my furnace has been a very interesting journey. It all works now. It's 100% self-reliant. Up here has got the kelp. working out water levels and how to have water sources, but then have a water moving collection over the top of water sources, and working out how high to have the observers to the pistons with the I don't like looking up information or tutorials. I prefer to more try and work out the thing myself, especially when it comes to stuff like this. But yeah, my furnace array, it's a little bit of a mess, but it works. This over here is just for if I do need to get some extra kelp, which down here I have made a huge kelp farm in the ocean, because kelp doesn't affect anywhere near as much. Like if you make it kelp in a farm, it affects the gameplay a lot more than what it does if it's in the ocean. But yeah, that's just, I did that so I could top all of this up. So all of this is topped up. You got good old hoppers, dropper line upwards to a row of hoppers across the top with hoppers below, so it will suck it into the furnace. But all I got to do is fill this up, and then I hit my button. And is that going to make the first round? It usually, oh, there it goes. It did. But at that same time, it retracts this redstone and starts the furnace cooking. Plus it also moves this observer forward to be able to start this observer clock to get the droppers feeding the kelp blocks upwards, and also starts this automatic making of kelp blocks, all with the one switch. That was probably the more difficult part of it, getting it to all connect off that one switch. As you can see, the observer is back and the redstone is back onto that hopper. This will continue cooking because the stuff that has fallen through, but when that's finished, it will just stop. And up here is where I AFK down at the bottom in my little cave of dripstone, and all of this just then ticks along and fills this up, which then when I come up here and I cook stuff, it will refeed itself. And if I do get low on kelp, I can just fly down and grab all of that from down in the ocean and get this all going again, which all feeds into this under there. And then I just move it over and it just goes through the system and comes out with more kelp blocks. But we will now continue on with the project, as I did all that so I could do all of the cooking I need for this. So I'll be onto it now. So this has turned into way too much overthinking. The project, as we know, is these 4 buildings, well 5, as we grab the other one and put it in the spot as I explained earlier. But the problem was, but I wanted something to come in over the top of these buildings, just little peaks. So this happened. Firstly, I thought about just raising it up through the footpathy area, which was fine. But we also built, I don't know, an old style bank building type thing, where the bank will end up in that top right hand corner. So we'll jump up into the cheaty cam as you can see now with the 6 levels that the yellowy building will be, I so want the new blocks. It will just peek up over the top of these ones, which is kind of what I wanted for the view, like from the other side, just so they're slightly up, where here there probably will be other ones that will also be like taller than these ones, just to give the skyline a bit of texture. So yeah, this bottom building, nothing overly fancy, just some bricks with some brick walls and polished diorite, and this time with the windows I've gone with a white glass and a black glass, both panes. But then behind that is some pale oak, which I have like stripped and just filled in the gaps behind, so it looks like window displays. I don't know, here in Melbourne, the capital city of the state I live in, we have these Maya windows where they put in like shows and like, I want to say pavilion type thing, but yeah. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. You know what I mean? They're not just shop windows. They can be something a little bit more fancy, with it being the original like idea of being the bank building, with the bank coming up in that back corner. Gee, I can't remember what I think I'm going to go with some red sandstone. So, and maybe some what's it called? Terracotta. Some plain terracotta. Silly words. And then the front will probably be another, like the grey building will be another, I think it's light blue terracotta, which is that slight purpley, but we'll see as these buildings slowly pop up, because things are always possible to change. So, but yeah, as I put blocks in, sometimes it's like, nope, they just don't work. So I'm going to get on with building at least one of these buildings on top. This project might end up becoming a 2-video project, like lifting this up and putting this building in there. Just way too much work. But and yeah, the yellow building is just going to be somewhat of a replica of these other buildings, but they're only a single chunk size instead of the large one. This big one here is really going to show on how long I made it. Just way too long. But let me jump in and I will get this done. Well, the overthinking has continued. It's been a fun couple of days, but we've got a little bit more of the building done. So let's have a look. As you can see, we've started way over here in the corner. I'm happy. I'm really happy. The only issue is, we look back at the project photo, if we put any of the other like tall buildings around, it will completely hide the bank. So I'm going to have to spend a little bit of time having a look at me Super Nintendo SimCity photos and see if I can find some smaller versions of these yellow buildings. Let's jump into some cheetah cam into the other two, you know what I mean, holes that are here. But if we come up into the SimCity view, I'm so happy with the way. But the bank is so basic of a building. So I do kind of want to a little bit hide it, but I don't want to completely hide it. So if we chuck that back up, my building is a little bit, bigger than what theirs are. Just in size, in length and width, and I like to, it's more I haven't done the maths, and I used to do all my building with graph paper, and then I stepped away from that when I joined the Hardcore Hearts, and have really enjoyed, you know what I mean, no creative, no mod help, just play some blocks and seeing what happens. So like I'm quite happy with the way that it has turned out. So I do think I will be doing, like, I want to do the interior for the bank. And like this building, I don't know, but yeah, some of these buildings, I reckon there will be a time, because whole lot of nothing going on inside there. But I do reckon there will become a time. I didn't know what to do for this little black squiggle, so I made a tree. So like, there's also some red markings or stuff here in the picture, but you can see the little. But I didn't worry about them, because I'm assuming they're cars. This here, I did a big, like, there's a stone box on the inside, just big stone box, and then white stain. Ooh, let's go down a bit. White stained glass with the black stone polished slabs, and then black stain, and then grey. I was going to do light grey, but it didn't work. But I like the way that the paints have brought in more vertical lines to bring your eye upwards. Especially down here, you can see the slight, you know what I mean, reinforced glass. So, and it also hides the stone block that's in the middle. But I'm absolutely happy with the way these have worked out. But yeah, I'm going to go for a little bit of a search and see what I can find about another smaller building to go in there, and another one to go in there. So when, like, the skyline from over here is, you know what I mean, looking nice. But yeah, we gotta remember, we've got this huge area here, and we've got this area across the back here, which this will be quite, like, some of the grey buildings. Let's, like, that grey building in the bottom left-hand corner, grey blue. So I'm going to use, I think it's blue terracotta, but we'll see. But yeah, so looking forward to the next step. But that will, where am I? That will bring us to the end of another episode. I'm gonna, spend some time finding and then get building on then next things. It's been, I don't know, a couple of weeks. It's been a strain, but thank you. Please, like, if you haven't already, like and subscribe. I'm really trying to grow the channel and trying to get, like, constant, but yeah, it all takes time and effort. So thank you very much, and I will see you very soon with the next one. Bye for now.